and gentlemen, yes, this is your favorite show, Sports Unfolded, with your favorite hosts, Eric and Ron.
Hey, sports fans, especially you football fans out there. Welcome to the best sports podcast on the planet, Sports Unfolded. Very special Super Bowl special, the preview show before the big game, February 9th, 2025, the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Philadelphia Eagles. I am your host, Eric. Main man up there, Ron. How are you tonight?
I am doing well. I'm fired up. I'm fired up today.
And the big dog in the house tonight. Kenny, how are you?
Let's go. Football.
Are you ready for some foosball?
Foosball. All right, gentlemen. We are going to break down the game, talk a little bit about what we think may happen tonight. Game kicks off at 6:30. We're going to have a very special starting five, Kansas City Chiefs starting five quarterbacks. We are going to rank them from 5 to 1. We are also going to have the weirdest props. And hopefully you get Ron to say what? As well as some of our superstitions when it comes to sports and what we've done in the past. Or things that we've heard. Maybe the things we've heard people do that we thought. And then at the end, we will give you our prediction on who wins and the score. If you are joining us live, please let us know as well. And you can definitely chime in. Let us know who you think is going to win tonight. If you have some weird prop maybe that you've bet on tonight that maybe Kenny doesn't mention, or if you just have an opinion about the referees, because I'm sure that'll come up a few times. No, not at all, gentlemen, not at all. But let's start off by talking about the first team, and we're going to talk about the Kansas City Chiefs. So, again, the Chiefs going for a three-peat, which has never been done in NFL history. During the regular season, this offense ranked 17th overall, 327 yards per game, 222.4 points passing per game, 105.3 yards rushing per game, average 22.6 points per game. Postseason, a little bit different story. You're seeing a little bit Patrick Mahomes, 66.7%.
It's a lot different.
422 yards, 8.3 yards per attempt, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Kareem Hunt has taken over the main duties for rushing for this team. 108 yards in the postseason, 2 touchdowns, no turnovers. Mainstay at in receiving is Kelsey, 9 receptions, leads the team, 136 yards and a touchdown. Xavier Worthy, though, has come on in this postseason, 11 receptions, 130 yards and a touchdown as well. So we knew when they drafted him, this is kind of the outlook. What do we expect from the Kansas City Chiefs offensively tonight?
Well, that's the tricky thing. Kelsey is going to be the focal point, but, it's a lot is going to tell to see how Philadelphia will play defense against them. They have to contain Patrick Mahomes. They can't let his legs hurt him because that will diminish their chances of success. So they have to contain him in that pocket. They can't let him run around and buy time for the receivers. That defense is really, really good. The soft area is probably their linebackers. So I think Kelsey is going to try to expose that. And I think that's why they're going to focus more on him and then maybe break a long pass to Worthy himself. I don't think the other receivers like Hopkins and I don't think
who decided to finally show up and play football? Juju Smith-Schuster. I don't know if you guys remember him. I think he was on some team in New England.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
vaguely
now
remember
he's
that.
playing good football too. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, but I don't think those players are going to be a factor. I think it is going to be Kelsey, and I think it's going to be Worthy. Those are the two players that are going to be a factor.
Kenny,
I think that the X factor is the rookie Xavier Worthy. I think he is doing a good job. 59 catches this year, 638 yards, 6 touchdowns. That's my X factor. Hey, and if Mahomes wins, he ties Terry Bradshaw and Joe Montana for the most wins by a QB. So let's just see. And Eric, can you tell me the last QB
Chills.
yeah, can you tell me the last quarterback that beat Mahomes?
it was some guy named Tom Brady. I think he's like right
Yeah,
that guy.
yeah, some guy named Tom Brady. Yeah,
Yeah, he's
He
pretty
owned
good.
him.
He was pretty good.
yeah, he's pretty good.
He was pretty good. I seem to agree with you. I think, Ron, you're right. I think that the coverage is going to try to double team Kelsey. That's what makes Xavier Worthy so dangerous. He's such a speedster. If he can get on top of that defense and they're able to, just chuck one deep, it kind of changes the whole complexity of how the defense starts to play it. Because now if you double or swing coverage to that side, it leaves Kelsey open in the middle. So
yeah, you have to pressure Mahomes, and you can't give him time to throw it downfield.
And I will say this, Kareem Hunt has done a very good job of coming back.
Yeah.
He runs hard. We've seen that in the past. What can he give them from a rushing standpoint to make sure that, again, it's the same scenario. What Philly wants to do is keep Mahomes off the field.
Yeah.
You don't want to keep Barkley on the field and those guys that can run the ball so effectively and kill clock. So can he kind of maintain some kind of running game?
Yeah, he's going to be a big factor because, when you look at it, yes, Kansas City has Mahomes, but the entire offense of Philadelphia is much better than Kansas City's. Yeah. And they have more weapons. They have the best offensive line. They have all the tools that they need. It's just whether or not Jalen Hurts will show up and play his butt off.
Yeah.
I mean, that's going to be like we talk about this. You look at all the advantages. They really point in Philadelphia's direction, except for that one factor, and that is Mahomes' magic. Yeah. Like he's got that thing like Brady had, and we talked about this before the playoffs even started, and here we are talking about him again.
Yeah.
Right. Let's talk a little bit about that Kansas City defense as well, because you did mention them. 9th overall in the regular season, gave up 320.6 yards per game, 218.8 yards against the pass, 101.8 against the rush. That might be a key there. 19.2 points per game is what they gave up. Chamari Connor in the postseason leads the team in tackles with 14. Karlaftis, 3 sacks, and then they had 4 guys that forced a fumble. So creating turnovers, key for Kansas City. Obviously, you want to get Mahomes more opportunities with the ball, but 101.8 yards per game against the rush in the regular season. Will Philadelphia be able to run? Because that's the strength of their team.
Yeah, that has been the concern, right? This Kansas City defense is really strong up the middle. So you got to be able to find your spots on the outside somewhere. And with Barkley, he's going to get his. I think he's going to get his. That offensive line is the best in the league. The best. They got 5 guys that are either Pro Bowlers or all pro and ranked high in the the numbers for that focus
PFF.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. They have like the top guy, and then they have like number 4 or 5, and it's like these are all Pro Bowlers. They're all Pro Bowlers, and that offensive line can move around and refocus, in a certain direction. So if they want to go outside somewhere, Kansas City's not going to be able to stop Barkley the entire way. It's just not going to happen. I still think Barkley will get at least 90. At least.
Kenny, your opinion?
I agree. So The X factor is Saquon Barkley. 345 carries this year, and he averages 125 yards per game. Yeah, I agree with Ron.
He is fantastic. Look,
He's
like I
fantastic.
said last week, Eric, he's probably the best running back I've seen since Barry Sanders.
Yeah, realistically, obviously, you know what the defensive strategy is going to be: shut down Barkley, make Hurts beat you with his arm, right? But then again, that factor of Devonta Smith, you got AJ Brown there. We're going to talk about Dallas
And
Goedert, who's had a
Goddard's been playing
really good
great.
postseason. I don't know how Kansas City allows, first of all, Philadelphia to try to get into a passing game. If they can do that, they still got to worry about AJ Brown is a deep threat.
Yeah, he's one of the best in the league. He's had 1,000 yards every season with Philly. So, that's a guy that's better than anybody on the field in the receiving game, right? I even think he's better than Kelsey. It's just the matchups for Kelsey are better because he's a tight end.
Yeah.
And it's hard to match up to a tight end. So, and no team has been able to do it, but this team has the capabilities of doing that. And if somebody else doesn't step up for Kansas City, they could be in trouble.
And let's not forget Steve Spagnuolo, the defensive coordinator of Kansas City, the games that he has called.
Absolutely.
Again, we saw it with Buffalo where he called a blitz that he hadn't called all season. And we saw that in New England a lot with the Patriots when they were very successful, right? They would do things in the postseason that nobody had seen. I can remember that Baltimore Ravens game with the eligible receiver that ended up changing the rule in that as well. But nobody had seen it, and Baltimore didn't know how to defend it. And now you see the same thing, like, can Jalen Hurts mentally be ready for what he's going to throw at him, because that defense is going to come at you with something you haven't seen in the past.
Yeah, and that is going to be a key for Kansas City. They have to be able to do that because, I mean, yes, they have a great linebacking core. Love it. And they have a couple of defensive backs that are pretty good. It just doesn't match up to, what Philadelphia has. And they have this guy that tends to play huge on that line that is going to be a factor one way or the other for this team, and that is Chris Jones. I mean, if they don't pay attention to him,
he can disrupt.
He could really mess up this team's offense.
Yeah, he could definitely disrupt this game. So great conversation on the Kansas City Chiefs. We're going to continue talking about the Chiefs because we're gonna do something a little fun right now, and we're going to have our starting five. Our starting five this afternoon.
I'm so upset, Eric. I totally forget to do the graphics on the starting five.
It's okay, buddy. We'll forgive you.
I'm so mad.
So our starting five, the Kansas City Chiefs all-time quarterbacks in their history, and we are going to rank them from 5 to 1, basically going through. I think this one's going to be pretty much a gimme. You know how this movie ends. But the four guys in between there, we could definitely have some fun with. So we'll kind of go in a rotation. Ron, Kenny, myself, we'll go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. All right. So, Ron, you start us off. You're number 5 in your starting 5.
Oh, no honorable mentions?
Oh, honorable mention. I didn't even have an honorable mention.
No honorable mentions? So you're not even going to mention Todd Blackledge? Wow. He had a winning record, 13-11, so he had to be mentioned.
Yes. Okay. Elvis Gerbach.
Now, my honorable mentions,
Elvis Gerbach.
Simple. Trent Green, Elvis Gerbach, Steve Bono. Is he related to Sonny?
I don't know.
And, of course, Todd Blackledge, of course.
I have one honorable mention, but Kenny, go ahead.
I got one honorable mention. Yep. Warren Moon, baby.
I forgot he even played for them. Did he play for them? I might have missed that one. He did? Warren Moon? I'm going to look. Yes. I'm going to check right now, Kenny.
I'm skeptical.
Starting quarterbacks for the Kansas City Chiefs.
He might not have been a starter.
Warren Moon, 2000, started one game. Started one game. I can't with you. I'm going to go Joe Montana as an honorable mention because in the 2 years he was there, he did win 2 postseason games.
Yeah,
so I will give him, which is like 3rd all time in franchise history.
Yeah, I had him a little higher than that.
So Joe Montana for me because he only played 2 years for Kansas City.
I know.
How do you have him higher?
Because he won 2 playoff games.
Oh my goodness!
Right,
Not
All
many
right.
of the others did.
Well,
All right. So at number 5, Ron, who do you have?
Number 5, I have Steve DeBerg. Steve DeBerg, 1-2 in the postseason.
Yes.
So he does have a playoff win.
Yes, he did.
31-20 with 1 tie. It's a pretty good record for him, right?
Yeah.
57.8 completion percentage, 67 touchdowns, 50 interceptions. So good. 7.3 yards per attempt.
Steve DeBerg was actually pretty good.
And
remember
let me
the old
tell you,
Tecmo
that's
Bowl.
better than Joe Montana's number.
The old Tecmo Bowl. I'm telling you, man, he was pretty good.
Yep.
Steve DeBerg.
11,873 career yards, but no accolades.
No, he had none. Journeyman for sure. Kenny, who was your number 5?
Trent Green, baby.
Trent
2001 to 2006. Trent Green, baby.
Green.
He was my bubble guy.
All right.
Very good.
I had at 5 Steve DeBerg. And for those reasons, 31-20, one tie. He did win a postseason game.
Yep.
No accolades, though, which is kind of crazy. He talk about, I mean, I think he played like 10 different teams. It was like a ton of teams.
Sounds about right.
He had Kansas City was a good chunk of it. So, yeah, I went Steve DeBerg at number 5. At 4, gentlemen, who did you have, Ron?
Number 4, I had Joe Montana. I thought his numbers were good enough to get in there. Even though it was only 2 seasons, he still went 17-8 and 2-2 in the postseason.
Kyle, thanks for joining. $2,000 for a ticket, only $2,000. So we all tried to put our money together, Kyle, and we were gonna go.
Yeah,
but we felt like $5,999 short.
Yeah.
I mean, you do the math on that one, gentlemen. All right.
So 60.7 completion rate, 29 touchdowns, 16 interceptions, which was a little higher than what I expected. But, 5,427. He did make a Pro Bowl in those 2 years.
Joe Montana. Kenny, who do you have at number 4?
I got Alex Smith at number 4.
Whoa.
Give him a little respect. From 2013 to 2017, did a real good job. I got Alex Smith at number 4.
Oh, and ticket prices dropped, Kyle. Jeez. All right. At 4 for me, I had Trent Green. 48-40 in his career. 0-2 in the postseason. Did not win his 2 postseason games. But ranks 3rd all-time passing, 3rd in touchdowns, and he did have 2 Pro Bowls while with the Chiefs. Yeah. So I went Trent Green at number 4.
Yeah, he was, like I said, he was my 6th. So
I was a guy that talk about a career. If you think about it, because the same thing with the Rams, like every team got better as soon as he got hurt or had moved on from the team.
Yeah,
and then had success. So it's kind of crazy. All right, Ron, we are on to number 3 in your starting 5. Who is your 3rd?
Number 3, I have Alex Smith. 50 wins, 26 losses. I mean, 50 wins is pretty good. Yeah, I'll take that. That's a good job. Alex Smith is one of those guys that always is underrated. And he really can lead a team. 65.1 completion percentage, which is fantastic. 102 touchdowns, only 33 interceptions. That is phenomenal.
Yeah,
that's phenomenal. 3-1. I'll take that any day. 7.2 yards per attempt. Is one of the better players of this group. 17,608 yards. The 1-4 playoff record. It's not a great playoff record, but
you got him there 5 times.
He made the playoffs constantly.
5 games.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
3-time Pro Bowler too. Horrible injury. Oh my God. Yeah, that injury was gruesome.
I was going to say, usually he has a leg up on guys, but too soon. Too soon in the
I
Alex
think you
Smith?
jumped the gun on that one.
Ah,
Yeah.
I think you jumped.
he almost got a job at IHOP. So,
All right.
I mean, that was.
Don't do that when I'm drinking something.
Kenny,
Uh,
Kenny, who did you have at number 3?
I had good old Joe Montana at number 3.
Big Joe.
Good old Joe.
I just
I think
couldn't
we
do it.
have
He
all the
didn't play
same.
along.
I think our top 6 are all the same.
It's gonna be. It's gonna be.
It's gonna be. It has
It's
to
gonna be because I didn't. So at 3, I had Alex Smith as well. 50 and 26, gentlemen. 4th all time on the team in passing, 5th in touchdowns. Those 3 Pro Bowls, which is like 3rd, I think, overall of the quarterbacks.
He
in the top
doesn't
3.
make those mistakes that a lot of quarterbacks.
He was a
do.
very good quarterback. He just
Yeah,
again
he was.
the injuries. Think about it. When
Game
he played in
manager.
Washington, right? He played really well in Washington as well. In San Francisco. So you think about what he did. San Francisco, they moved on to Colin Kaepernick. They go to the Super Bowl. Chiefs move on to Patrick Mahomes. They went to the Super Bowl. Like he created that culture in those buildings, and then
and I think that's what it is. He stabilized franchises.
Yeah. No, it looks very good player. We had some fun. We poked a little fun, but Alex Smith, very good player.
Yep.
All right, Ron. I think the first 2 are going to be the same, except Kenny always throws us for a loop sometimes. All right. So at number 2, Ron, in your starting 5.
Well, clearly my number 2 is Bill Kenny.
Bill Kenny, without a doubt. Look at his face. I love it.
Look at his face. That's hilarious. No, it's Len Dawson, of course. I mean, 5 and 3 in the postseason, 93 wins, 56 losses, 8 ties, 57.2 completion percentage, 237 touchdowns, 178 interceptions, 7.7 yards per attempt, second on this Kansas City franchise, right? 28,507 yards, 6 Pro Bowls, an All-Pro, and of course that Super Bowl.
He did get a yes, he did, and an AFL championship.
And an AFL.
Kenny, who's your number 2?
I also had the Purdue Boilermaker QB, Len Dawson.
Ooh, the Purdue Boilermaker. Look at him doing his research. Look at him. I agree, gentlemen. Number 2, Len Dawson. 5 and 3 postseason record. You said that, Ron. So winning record there. Second most victories in the postseason for the Kansas City Chiefs. Second passing all time. Second in touchdowns all time. 6-time Pro Bowler. A 1-time All-Pro as well. So definitely did some work there in Kansas City. But, gentlemen, it is time for our starting 5. Number 1, all-time Kansas City Chiefs quarterback. Ron, you're number 1 in this starting 5.
My number 1 is Mike Livingston. Absolutely. Yeah, I didn't get him a second time.
Is that Cliff Livingston's
second time?
Cliff Livingston's cousin, by the way, Kenny. Little basketball reference for you there. Cliff Livingston's cousin. I don't know if that's legit or not. We're gonna go with it. Livingston don't come up that much.
Wasn't it like Stan Livingston that was like a descendant? You know, way back the explorer guy there.
Like Dora?
Not Dora, but Stan Livingston, the one that traveled to.
The only Stan I know is Lee. Stan Lee. I know Stan Lee.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, it's Patrick. Oh, I almost said the thing that you hear in all the memes. Patrick Mahomes. You know those memes.
Got it out. Behave. Family show.
16 and 3 postseason, soon to be 16 and 4.
Yeah.
89 wins, 23 losses. And if this doesn't scare you, 66.6 completion percentage. 66.6, 666. 245 touchdowns, 74 massive interceptions, 7.8 yards per attempt, which is the best out of anybody on the lists. 32,352, which is best on the list. 6 Pro Bowls. So he was the same as
Len Dawson.
Len Dawson. 2 All-Pro, though. 2 MVPs and 3 Super Bowls. It's hard to compete with that unless you're Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Kenny, you're number one.
I'm gonna hate myself in the morning, but I also had Mr. Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes the second. Yeah.
Again, I have to agree with both of you. Number one, Patrick Mahomes, 89-23. Next season, he will pass Len Dawson for the most wins in franchise history. He already holds the number one for passing, number one in touchdowns. 16-3 in the postseason, possibly 17-3 after this one. Again, 6 Pro Bowls, 2 All-Pros, the 2 MVPs, the 3 Super Bowl titles. Gentlemen, I'm going to say it. No. Realistically, if he wins this game, you have to put him in the same category as Tom Brady. No quarterback's been able.
Clearly, though,
Tom couldn't do it.
I think he's already number 2. To be
Tom
honest,
couldn't do it.
I know that.
If Patrick Mahomes can, against a team that I feel is still a better quality team than his team,
I know
you have to start to really look at Patrick Mahomes.
I mean,
in that same category.
It is certainly clear who the best 2 quarterbacks of all time are.
And how you rank them 1, 2, this may start to factor that in.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, the
realistically.
The conversations start now, right?
Yeah, it's going to definitely start. All right. So that was our starting 5. We do that every Friday night at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as well on our regularly scheduled program. So if you enjoy that, check that out on Friday nights at 6 p.m. When we do all different categories as well. Hopefully, if you're out there and you're live, let us know. Do you have an opinion about the Super Bowl, Kansas City's best starting quarterback of all time, or anything in the football world? Kyle's already told us that for only a measly $2,000, you too could get Super Bowl tickets. So, you know.
Can I get U2 tickets?
Aren't they more? I think U2's be more. U2 tickets might be more than the Super Bowl. That was pretty good, Ron. All right. Let's talk about the other team in this matchup, and that's the Philadelphia Eagles. Philadelphia Eagles in the regular season, 8th overall, 367.2 yards per game, 187.9 yards passing per game, 179.3 yards rushing, averaged 27.2 points per game. In the postseason, Jalen Hurts, 69.6% completion percentage, almost 70%. That's really good. 505 yards, 7.3 yards per attempt, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Saquon Barkley rushing for 442 yards and 5 touchdowns with no turnovers. And then the receivers, Dallas Goedert, 15 receptions in the postseason so far for 188 yards, 12.5 yards per attempt. So when you think about it per reception, it's not these short dink and dunks with Goddard either. He's getting first downs for this team with a touchdown. Devonta Smith, 12 receptions, 121 yards, and no touchdowns. A.J. Brown, 9 receptions for them as well. Offensively, Philadelphia Eagles, your thoughts on what they need to do in this game to be successful offensively?
What they have been doing. Run first. You know, that opens up things. That will open everything up because Barkley, like I said, he has to have the attention of the Kansas City defense. So that is going to leave somebody open.
Yeah.
And I know I thought of that. You know, I wanted to do green, but I didn't remember until after all the graphics were already done. You know,
I think we know who Ron's picking with all this red. Yeah.
No, hell no. Don't even go there. I'm not a Kansas City fan.
Sad.
But like I said, you know, they have to think run first. And that's why Hurts's percentage is so high because you have to worry about Barkley, and he can break one at any time, and he probably will.
Yeah, I think he's had 4 big runs in the postseason
Yeah.
already. Kenny, what's your opinion on the Philadelphia Eagles offense?
Yeah, as long as Hurts, when he's in trouble, he can run for the first down. He can run for the touchdown. He can run to get yards. He is tremendous. He is the only QB that has 9 touchdowns in playoff games. 9. And 18 for his whole career. So once he gets around the corner.
Game, right?
Yep.
3 rushing touchdowns.
I will say this. Listen, his legs are so crucial because, again, even when they do the run read option, he can tuck it in and go. My question would be this, though: are you more afraid of the fact that if Kansas City can't slow down Barkley, do you trust Hurts enough? So remember, gentlemen, this is deja vu. We've seen this matchup 2 years ago. And in that game, Hurts played a phenomenal game.
He did.
He made one mistake.
And it cost him.
And it cost him the game. So, again, that's where my fear factor comes into play. Can Hurts just not make an error in this game, either with his legs or passing the ball, that costs his team the game? You cannot give Patrick Mahomes another possession on offense because we know it always hurts teams.
This is what I was saying at the beginning of the show. All the arrows point in the direction of Philadelphia except that one arrow that points to Patrick Mahomes. And we know what Patrick Mahomes can do. And that is what people are so hesitant for. And I said before, I'll say it again. Does he go into that trio factor with Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson? Can't get it done.
I think Ron's, there's subtle hints here. Subliminal messages, right? You've got the red on the screen. Now you're talking about arrows, Kansas City Chiefs, Indian arrows. I see where you're going, buddy. I think you're secretly telling us things to make people believe.
I hope that's not like a prediction. Am I Nostradamus?
I don't know what's going on here, but we've got arrows, red letters. But listen, at the end of the day, you said it. Offensively, the line is better. Right? The receivers are better. The running back is clearly better. The one factor for Philadelphia will be their quarterback, who's not a bad quarterback. He's a good quarterback. He's not elite. And we've seen teams in the past, when you have that elite quarterback, they can make things happen.
Do we have to say that word?
Kenny, listen, as a Tom Brady fan, as a New England Patriot fan, yes, it's very hard for us to see, but this is the next dynasty. The Kansas City Chiefs are the next dynasty.
I just hate that word.
And realistically, all the things that people hated about New England, it was Tom and Tom Brady and Tom can't lose and Tom always came up with the big games. Yeah, that's what Mahomes is doing. And again, every year we kept saying, well, this is the year they don't do it. This is the year they don't, right? This quarterback's better, or this team's better, or this.
When I think about it, it's like you don't like teams, right? You have teams you don't like, and you have teams that you like. And I look at Kansas City, I look at the coach, likable. You look at the quarterback, likable. You look at Kelsey. Well, that's questionable. But
Swifties
but
love
you look at a lot of those defensive players, and you like those defensive players. So why don't I like the Kansas City Chiefs? It's because he has a chance for history, and I don't like it. Period. I don't like it.
Okay, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I like teams. I just don't like a couple of players. One of them ruined my life. Okay, right. That's why I don't like the word elite. No. That's why I don't like the word elite. That's why I don't like the word elite.
He's elite, buddy. I can't. There's no other way to put it. I can't put it any other way. I can't say he's average.
Like, why can't we do good, great? Why do we have to use the word elite?
Because the greats win at
There
a
are a lot
different
of
level.
great players, but there's not.
Elite
There's not
win
a
at
lot
a
of-
whole
how-
different level. He
how-
wins at a whole
how about
different
just-
level.
How about can we drop the E and be like just elite? I'm saying he's elite. Can we drop the E, please?
I mean, you kids today and your lingo, I can't do it. I will say this too before we move on to Philly's defense. I think the biggest factor in this game, believe it or not, is going to be AJ Brown. Because I think AJ Brown has the potential to be that X factor. You talked about Worthy for the Chiefs.
He has to be the guy when they're sitting
When they need that big
in the box.
catch, right? They need a big catch, or they need a guy to take the top off the defense. Here's your guy. Devontae Smith, very good, can go under, right? Does a lot of great things.
Yeah.
I think AJ Brown, because listen, he hasn't had the best postseason, and we know there's been some turmoil
He needs
there.
to have like an 8-catch day.
Yeah, right. There's some turmoil, and there's a lot of discussion about AJ. Does he want to be there? Him and Hurts don't get along.
Because they went
all these things
to the running game, which was a smart thing to do.
Yeah. You go to your strength, absolutely, but didn't work well for him. So he's my X factor in this one. Defensively, gentlemen, the number one defense in the league during the regular season, 278.4 yards per game. Only gave up 174.2 yards passing per game and 104.2 yards rushing per game, 17.8 points per game. Zach Bond, 26 tackles in the postseason. It's been a tackling machine. Nolan Smith Jr. with 4 sacks. Quinyon Mitchell, I apologize, 2 interceptions in this postseason. And Oren Burks with 2 forced fumbles. So they create turnovers. We know they're a tackling machine. Jalen Carter, who's their best player defensively on the defensive line, is not even mentioned with those players, but he creates havoc.
20 quarterback pressures so far in the playoffs.
Right. So you think about what he's able to do, and then Zach Brown comes in and cleans it up. What does this defense need to do to rattle Mahomes to stop this Kansas City offense?
Do what they have been doing.
Bring everybody.
Look, they have the best defensive line in the league. It's not even a question. And where do you win games? In the trenches, and they have both sides of the ball. Mm-hmm. That is how they win this game. You gotta dictate where you are pushing those other players on the opposing line, right? So that defensive line with Nolan Smith, Carter, they have to dictate what the offense of Kansas City is going to have to do. So you want to contain, all the pressure, then you got to do what you need to do. And that line is going to dictate that. And then, of course, you have, an all-pro linebacker that is going to stuff the run. Is what you hope, right? He's not going to allow Hunt to break tackles. You have to tackle. We've seen, how many times did we see a broken tackle against Kansas City in, the playoffs this year? It's been ridiculous. It's like, just tackle. And then, of course, that number one pass defense with that crew of defensive backs, Mitchell, Cooper DeJean. I mean, he's a phenomenal player.
The problem is this. And we've talked about, Kenny doesn't want me to use the word again, but I'm going to have to. Those elite quarterbacks,
they find holes.
They figure ways and they see things that are happening.
Yeah.
Can Philadelphia's defense disguise things enough to
they can,
right? Make things difficult for Mahomes.
You got to disguise. Look, we went through this with New England, right? Bill Belichick disguised his defense so well. This is what Philly needs to do to win this game. They have to disguise their blitzes. They have to disguise the coverage so that way they kind of sucker them into throwing the ball in the wrong spot. And if you can't do that, you're going to get chewed up and spit out by Mahomes.
Yeah. Kenny, any opinions on the defense for Kansas, for the Philadelphia Eagles?
They just have to pressure Mahomes. They got to find a way to get him, rattle his cage. They just got to get to him.
They don't have to sack him. They just have to pressure him.
Yeah, get those pressures, right? Make him think a little quicker than he might want to. Listen, they've been great all season. They've done some great work in the postseason as well. I think we got my X factor here is the head coaching with Sirianni and Andy Reid, because which coach can develop a game plan that's going to be, listen, we know the strength of Philadelphia is their defense. Very good offense, but their defense is what's basically got them here. Yes, Barkley and what he's done, but their defense. Offensively, the Kansas City Chiefs is what got them there. Their defense, very good, but again, we know what Mahomes is. Which coach can design a game plan that is going to disrupt either Kansas City's offense or be able to beat Philadelphia's defense? That's where
the other arrow.
It's
the other arrow.
See, it's it. I'm telling you, all the signs are there.
Well, what else am I going to call it? Am I going to call it the pointer?
This is the funny thing. I remember a Family Guy episode when they were doing the cigarettes, and you like every so often on the screen, it'd be smoke. That's Ron. Arrows. Bright red all the way around, Chiefs colors. I mean, I'm telling you, he's telling us some things.
Red is our normal color.
All right, so gentlemen, we have broken down both teams. Danny, thanks for joining. Hey, Kenny, missed you, bro. How's the family, Kenny? All right.
Good,
Danny.
You guys are on like first name basis or stuff?
I guess you too. Yeah. I mean, you want to talk to us about some things, Kenny? I mean, you and Danny got like a. Anyway, let us get into some and have some fun now before we make our predictions for the big game. Kenny, you have done some research. We are not betting individuals. We don't go out there and blow up. Well, some of us make that. I don't know, but I don't. I am curious though, if we were going to put some bets on some props for this game, what are some of the weirdest props that we could put some bets on, Kenny? And hopefully you can make Ron say
what? All right. So I need to know. Okay. All right. Eric and Ron. The first.
Do we have a graphic for the weirdest props or?
Oh,
I would just be curious. I don't know. I feel Kenny should get his. I mean, I want to keep the red though, because weirdest props. Weird props. Kenny for the Super Bowl. What do you got?
Let's see. I got will the jersey number to score the first touchdown higher than a 10 or lower than a 10?
Ooh. First jersey number to score. It's got to be higher.
Higher than a 10.
Right? Mm-hmm. Higher than a 10, because I don't think... What's Worthy, though? He's a 1, right? Isn't he number 1? Xavier Worthy?
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be the first one.
Right? Because Kelsey's high, Barkley's high.
It's going to be Dirt.
Or Jalen Hurts, though, is under 10.
Yep.
Yeah, it's going to be Go Dirt. Go Dirt gets the first one.
Oh, okay.
Goddard.
Goddard, yeah.
So Eagles running back Saquon is number 26, Jalen Hurts number 1, Kareem Hunt's number 29, and Travis Kelce's number 87.
Yeah.
So
I think it's over 10 for the first jersey to score.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Although that little roll watch. There we go.
This one is crazy. Who scores better, Tyrese Maxey at Milwaukee or Patrick Mahomes' pass completions?
Tyrese Maxey could score more points.
Yeah.
Or Patrick Mahomes better than his completion percentage?
Yeah.
Completions total.
Completions total.
So you're saying, like, if Mahomes had 30 completions in this game, like he goes 30 for 40 and Maxey scores 29. What's more likely?
I'm going to take Maxey.
Yes.
Against Milwaukee and Giannis out? Yeah, I go Maxey. I think Maxey has more points than Mahomes completions. That is a prop for the Super Bowl.
That's a weird one, huh?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, that's a prop. Yeah, right.
You know
It's
what,
weird.
Ron? Say what?
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I would definitely say that. Yeah.
Why would they throw Tyrese Maxey of all people? Oh, because of Philadelphia. Yeah. Philadelphia 76 is Philadelphia Eagles. Okay. All right. That makes a little more sense.
This is my favorite one. Number of patties on Andy Reid's post-game burger.
Ooh,
You think he's a double cheeseburger guy?
I think he goes triple if they win, single if they lose.
That's deep.
So it depends on the outcome.
I say triple if he wins, and several single patties if he loses. Several. He'll be sad and depressed. And
he already said he's coming back next season, by the way, Andy Reid. So he's coming back next season. He already said he's definitely coming back for one more year.
Yeah, because he's
really
for Belichick's.
He does love his burgers, Kyle. He does love his burgers.
Yes.
That's a prop. That's a prop. Yep. That's the actual prop.
Yep.
And how do you find that out? Like, what if he doesn't show you the burger? Like, how do you know if you won that prop? We could say anything. Oh, yeah, Andy Reid had 4 burgers on his thing. Right? Like, that's a weird prop.
Yeah, right?
That's not something you can
There's
prove.
No way I bet on that one.
Right? You can't prove that one.
Me neither.
But
which backup QB will be mentioned? Yeah. Which backup QB will be mentioned first? Carl Wentz or Kenny Pickett?
Who's Carl? Who?
Whose backup will be mentioned?
Carson Wentz.
Carson Wentz.
Or
I was
Kenny
like Carl
Pickett.
Wentz. Carson Wentz.
No, I'm going to say Kenny Pickett.
Pickett. I think so too, because Hurts. There's still questions on his injury. So you might see Pickett, especially if he starts to run a little bit, and then they're gonna they'll flash over to Pickett real quick. So I would go Pickett. Yeah, I agree. I don't. Yeah, Mahomes. They don't. That guy's broken his ankle. Somehow still keeps playing the game. I don't know. Every time he gets hurt. Carson Wentz.
And last but not least, total players to throw for a touchdown.
Wait, what?
Yeah, total players to throw a touchdown.
So, like, not just the quarterback. So, if you got 2 quarterbacks, but then a running back throws or a wide receiver throws a touchdown.
I'm going to say 2.
That's it. I don't think there's going to be a lot of trick plays.
So, therefore, we won't see the Philly special?
No. 1. Kyle has 1. Kyle says only 1 quarterback throws a touchdown.
Wow.
Yeah, that's true.
That could be the Philly special.
I thought we was going to see the Philly special. I think it's going to be 2.
First of all, we don't talk about the Philly special in New England. So you talk about can't say elite, but you can talk about the Philly special.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, I see how it is, Kenny.
That is true. Sorry about that.
Shameful.
Hey, we don't talk about Bruno either, but we do.
We don't talk about Bruno.
Tom,
yes. From Encanto. The Disney movie. Come on, Ron.
Come on, Ron.
Buddy. You got to watch that movie.
For real.
I will say this.
What's wrong with you two?
I will say this. Tom even said it the other day. He said they were talking about Nick Foles on something, and he's like, yeah, he caught his pass. I didn't. I was like, damn it. Oh, man. Weird props. Those are some weird props, though. I still can't believe they got the Philadelphia 76er thing.
I can't believe there was no Trump and Taylor Swift appearances.
I still think that should be a prop. Was that a prop and you just didn't mention it?
No, I didn't see it.
You didn't see it?
I didn't see it this year. I didn't see it this year.
Who gets seen more on TV? Donald Trump or Taylor Swift? I would say it's going to be. I think it goes Taylor.
I think
Kelsey.
I think it goes Taylor.
I think the problem is you're going to have like half the stadium booing, so they won't show Donald again. Right? Whereas Taylor Swift, everybody, they just flash her up there. Nobody cares.
Now, if I'm the producer of it and you show him up on the jumbo screen and they boo, I would keep doing it. You know, you'd show him, then you show Taylor, then you show him, and then Taylor, and see who has the biggest, cheers of boo.
Kyle seems to think Trump. He said definitely. So that should be a prop. Like if there was a bet, that would be a bet for me. A Trump versus.
I mean, when
Taylor
you think
Swift.
about it, there's going to be so many stars there, right? I mean, who knows who gets the biggest rise out of the crowd? We don't know.
We don't. Danny, if you watch we had a very special trade NBA ranking show. Check that out. Go back to Rhode Island Broadcasting. You're gonna hear Kenny all about Luka. Danny's about Luka. We're talking about the Super Bowl now because this is football time.
Yes.
So Kenny, thank you for the weird props. We're gonna have a little more fun, gentlemen. We're gonna talk superstitions. So
Very superstitious, writing on the wall.
just like Stevie, I hope I never see you do that again. So let us talk about some of our superstitions. What about foods? We did that last year, right? With the food.
This food that I have for today.
But is that a superstition for you, Kyle? So that was one of mine. One of my superstitions was if my team won, I had to eat the same thing again.
Yes.
For the next game.
Yes.
Food, right? Would be a superstition.
When I played hockey, I was very superstitious about that. So I ate the same thing from the same place before games and after games.
I could see that. I used to do that with when I played basketball. It sounded weird. I have to take a shower and then go play. And then you obviously take another shower after the game. But I had to take a shower before I played.
Yeah. I mean, I had a lot of them. I used to hit, my goaltender's pads certain ways, to get ready just before I'm taking like the face off. I would be the last person to go to the goaltender, and do my little ritual and then take the face off, and then I'm ready to go. So there was a lot of them, and I know a lot of NHL players have those kind of superstitions.
Yeah.
Brad Marchand, he's always the second guy on the ice behind the goaltender, and what does he do? He comes out and he just slams all the pucks onto the ice. They have him stacked in a pyramid all the time. It's not just like a bucket of pucks, They stack them just so he can do that.
Wow.
And it's crazy. There's a lot of them.
Yeah. Kenny, you have any superstitions?
Yeah, when I was a young kid, I used to go to Celtic games, and you remember Ed Pickney?
Oh yeah,
Ed Pickney. Every time he would come into the game, he would cough and sneeze. So I'm like, what the hell is he coughing and sneezing? What the hell is he coughing and sneezing for? Coughing and sneezing.
How do you
like, that's a superstition?
Okay.
Chew like that. He go
Okay.
chew. And I'm like, why the hell is he coughing and sneezing? What the hell is going on? And they told me that that's a superstitious for him. So when I was a kid, I used to buy basketball packs and I would cough and sneeze on them.
Okay. What is
Crazy,
your prize?
right? Yeah,
Chiefs winning the game. We don't have a prize. Danny just wants free stuff. I love Danny, but we don't just give things away all the time. I also had another superstition with the Patriots where I used to wear the same clothes, the article of clothes. So I had a jersey, whatever, if I was wearing shorts, whatever, a hat. And I will say this, the year they went 18-0, my clothes were really smelling ripe because I can't wash them. Because if you wash them, you would wash away the win in that aura. So I would literally, after the game, take the clothes off. I'd fold them. I'd keep them in my closet. And then when the next game, I would wear it again. And I used to do that every year. That particular year, they didn't lose for 18 straight games. So I had to wear the same thing for 18 straight games.
Yeah, but
and I couldn't,
19,
I couldn't wash it because I didn't want to wash away that aura of the victory.
Well, I mean, I did similar thing. Remember when they won their first Super Bowl and they didn't start off so great, right? And they went into New Orleans came to play them, and that started the winning streak. I went to that game and I bought a jersey for that game and a hat for that game, and they never lost for the rest of the season.
So you always,
So
nice.
I won that Super Bowl. I deserve a ring.
It was you, Ron, not my superstition.
I deserve a ring. They didn't give me one.
We'll have to call Robert on that one.
No, but there's a lot of them. Like in NASCAR, they don't serve up peanuts and shells.
Right. Yep.
And for some strange reason, that when there's a car wreck, they look in the car and there's peanut shells in there. It's crazy. Like, is somebody like planting these peanuts after they like crash or something? I don't know what it is. So they don't serve shelled peanuts. Crazy.
That is a different one.
Yeah.
That is a different one. And Kenny, you have any more?
So Wayne Gretzky, this is weird, man. Wayne Gretzky used to powder down his stick with baby powder.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I could see that because it sticks, right? You
And
get the
and he wouldn't like his stick to touch other sticks.
Yeah. Keeps them separate. Keep them separated.
oh boy, here he goes again. No singing.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6.
And I got another and I got another question.
Go ahead.
Go
ahead, Kenny.
Danny.
What's your question?
So both of you. So let's say Madden franchise calls you up and says, "I give you $2 million to be on the cover of Madden."
Oh, hell no.
That was a superstition, yeah, for a while.
Hell no.
No. So let's go down. So let's go down the list real quick. Dante Culpepper, 2002. The next season he went 5-11. In 2005, he blew out his knee. Michael Vick, 2004. The next year, what happened? He goes to jail for dogfighting.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, there's a little history there.
Donovan McNabb, 2006. The next season, what happened? He tears his ACL. Sean Alexander, 2007. 2007. The next year, done. Peyton Hillis, 2011. Peyton Hillis.
He was that running back for Cleveland, yeah.
Peyton Hillis, 2011. Never heard from again.
Why did they put Hillis on the freaking cover?
He dominated the year before. Like he was
I don't care. 1 year?
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. No, thank you. I'm good.
Yeah,
I got a good one. I was looking up some stuff for superstitions.
Yeah, I'm looking it up now too to see if I find it.
In Japan, the Hanshin Tigers won the Central League pennant in 1985 for the first time in 21 years, right? So they partied so hard, they threw the Colonel Sanders statue into the river in their celebration, right? They went on to win the championship. Oh, but that curse haunted them for, ever since.
Well, they had and I just read one, the Boston Red Sox with the curse of the Bambino.
Right.
And then you remember every year they try to do something like they had somebody grab the contract, or his granddaughter or whoever it was signed something, right? Like they were doing all these weird things. You'll see it in the dugout sometimes where the guys will do the ups, flip the hats.
Yeah.
Right. Just some weird stuff. It just showed Brian Urlacher would always eat 2 chocolate chip cookies. No more than 2. You had to have 2 chocolate chip cookies before each game. Like just some weird stuff out there when it comes to superstition.
Yeah.
I had one of my own too. We did this before when I used to have a bunch of buddies come over and we'd watch a game. And again, it was always in the postseason. You would have to sit in the same seat again. Like wherever you sat.
Oh, absolutely. Oh my God.
Do not sit somewhere else. Because if we lost the next game, I blamed whoever. Where were you sitting? Why didn't you sit there? And then it got to the point where it would even be like, oh, fourth quarter. You remember you got down on your knee and you were like by the TV. And like we had to mimic the exact same things every single time. It was weird. It's a weird superstition.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. I mean, when you think about it, where you're sitting, who you're with. I mean, that's a big one too. Who you are with, just watching games on TV. So if you're watching a game and your team wins, you got to watch it in the same place with the same people that you were watching it with, because that could, by chance, be the factor in the sports gods, right? So, I remember watching the 2004 World Series, and my buddy Jay was there for like the game 6, and he had to come back. He had to come back the next game. I don't know if it was game 6, whatever the game was. Their third win, the Red Sox third win in the World Series. And I said, hey, what are you doing today? He's like, oh, I got to work. It's like, well, you have to call out. And he's like, why do I have to call out? Because you got the game tonight and you have to be here. And he did. He called out.
There's the one, too, where a pitcher, if he's got like a perfect game going or a no-hitter.
Oh, yeah, you don't.
And nobody can sit. Yeah, like he sits by himself.
Yeah,
like those are right. Like it's kind of crazy, some of the stuff. A
Yep.
little fun there, gentlemen. Again, this has been our Sports Unfolded Super Bowl preview show, a very special show. Big game on in about 4.5 hours from now. So it is that time of the show, though, gentlemen. We've got to make our prediction and give our score of the game. I can't wait. I think Danny already gave us, it was like 34-31, I believe.
Let me see. Let me pull that thing back up.
I'm pretty sure that's what Danny
if I
said.
can find it. I'm in the wrong section.
He wants to talk all at the Lakers, Kenny. You're going to have to. Kenny and Ron, when you guys do your next NBA show, actually, I'm probably be a part of that this upcoming week. We can definitely talk Danny.
Well, that would be tomorrow if we're doing it.
34-31. He's got the Chiefs winning. All right.
Oh, okay.
All right. So, Ron, it is your time. Your winner in the score of the game.
All right. So, before I get to that,
Is this a superstition? We actually do one on Sports Unfolded. We have a superstition. So at the beginning of every show, Ron puts up a little thing in the chat.
yes,
When the show starts. And all I ever respond back with is LOL. And we do it every single show. And we have not missed the show in almost 5 years of doing it.
And it's always a different wording, a different spelling of the word that I post.
Every time. So we have a
Every
superstition.
single show.
But we have one too as well. Speaking of superstition.
So, yes.
All right.
So
it is prediction time.
I want to explain my prediction beforehand. So I went through the list of all the factors in the game. So quarterback. I obviously lean towards Kansas City in quarterback, right?
You had to do these graphics. I can't. Go.
The running game, I lean towards Philly, obviously, with Barkley.
Oh, my goodness. How come we didn't all get this?
I don't know. I was waiting.
Oh, okay.
Receiving, so that is, tight ends, running backs, receivers. I lean towards Philly. The trenches, absolutely 100% Philly.
Going all Philly. He's going to pick Kansas City. Go ahead.
Linebackers, I went Kansas City.
Okay.
And then pass defense, I went Philly.
So more Philly than you only had 2 KCs. Got it.
And then special teams is Kansas City. And then I forgot to do one of the coaching, but I leaned Kansas City towards coaching.
Okay.
So with that being said, everything tells me Philly is going to win. Everything. So I picked 30-23 in favor of Philly.
Okay. All right. He's going Philadelphia.
30-23.
30-23.
What do you have? 30-23?
Yes.
Yes, 30-23. In favor of Philadelphia Eagles, your new Super Bowl champions.
All right. Kenny, your prediction.
So, back in 1946, no, sir. I'm going to get straight to the point, okay? All right. I'm going to get straight to the point.
When they didn't have cleats.
Exactly. Right? I'm going to go straight to the point.
Leatherhead.
Let's go Philly. I got Philly 38-28 MVP.
Ooh, 10 points. Wow. 10-point victory for the Philadelphia Eagles. Saquon Barkley. All right.
Super Bowl MVP, you said Barkley?
Yep.
I'm going to go Jalen Hurts.
Okay, Jalen Hurts, you both Philly. All right, gentlemen. Philadelphia will be up 24-21 with about 6 minutes left in this game. Patrick Mahomes will lead the comeback, score the winning touchdown pass to Travis Kelce. We'll see Taylor Swift basically.
But how it
Chocolate, thanks for joining.
is refs make a bad call. And
whatever happens. Yep.
They throw a flag for pass
roughing the passer.
interference.
It's going to be a roughing the passer or a pass interference. Gets them down to the 1. Kansas City wins this game 28-24. Patrick Mahomes is your MVP, 3-time champion. Kansas City Chiefs. They will do the only thing that no team in NFL history has done.
Yes.
3-peat.
And it'll be Hunt that knocks over Patrick Mahomes, and they call it on Philly.
Yes. So that
refs.
is our Super Bowl special. I want to thank everybody that joined us live. Chakra just joined in, Danny, as well as Kyle. Thank you all three of you for joining. Hopefully you've had some fun. If you get a chance, share this show to some of your football fans. Let them know that we are on every Friday night at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Breaking news. Jets moving on from Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. I don't know if I trust Fox, but no, I'm just kidding. I would not be surprised. Would not be surprised with that move. And we'll be talking about that on Friday, as well as the Super Bowl finale and how that finished up. I'm sure we'll be talking about that, and including your Lakers, Danny. We will talk about your Lakers this Friday. Also join the show tomorrow, possibly for an NBA ranking show. If not, usually Tuesday. So we'll do that as well and have some fun there. But I want to thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. Hope you enjoy the game. Ron, don't drink and eat too much. Hence the first one. All right. But
I'm going to eat my alcohol today.
All right. I love it. Let's have some fun tonight. Baby. Everybody out there, enjoy the game. To your point, stay safe. Be smart about the decisions you make afterwards, driving home. And all we ever ask for every single podcast, every single show is that we get peace on earth. So everybody take care.
Have a great day, everybody. Enjoy the game.
Enjoy the game.